says in the Mishnah that in the Migdash, Kochois Brachos in the Migdash, they said, when the minim started, they added the bracha, Baruch Hashem l'kei Yisrael min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam. In fact, the Gemara kol kach lama. It's such a long, extensive bracha. If you say oyin of a Migdash, there's a rule. You don't say amen in the base of Migdash. You say Baruch Hashem kivay machusay. Right? So since the oinim are marich, so the bracha is also extended, just like the amen is extended. Here's the pasuk. What do they answer the base of Migdash? I don't want to stir the learning if you guys don't want to. Should we? Yeah, we can learn in the back. Yeah, you guys can learn. Rabbi said you can learn in the back. It's not a position. We're just learning. Yochel shekol brachos kulim teilem tila achas. I would have thought that all brachos have the same answer. Tehila achas. So the pasuk says no. M'roimim al kol bracha tehila, al kol bracha teno tehila. Each bracha, you don't wait till you finish all brachas. And each bracha you say amen. He's kiddush adam shor b'shlom chaveira. And the Gemara brings rayas the psukim and says why do you have to bring va'omer? Why do you bring the second raya from the first raya is from Boaz? What do you do the second raya? Now maybe Boaz, right? He blessed everybody with the Shem Hashem. Maybe that was his personal thing. Toshma. So we bring a second pasuk, Hashem imcha gibor chayim. But maybe that pasuk will say that the Malach said it. So it's not a raya. You can't bring a raya from Malach. We need the pasuk Toshma al tovus ki zokna imecha. So we bring another pasuk that don't mevaze the zikna Yisrael. Which proves this was the correct approach of Boaz. Eis la, and that says another passage. Eis la is Hashem eferus rosecha. So it's permissible to use the Shem Hashem, use the Torah sometime in order to Kaddish Hashem. So therefore, Boaz did the correct thing in Mevorach Hashem. Amar Rava. So the following pasuk has two possible interpretations. Miresh will say from the Midrash. You can interpret the pasuk from the beginning to the end. We say from the Reisha, or you can interpret the pasuk also from the end to the beginning. Midrash. Miresh will say from the Midrash. Eis la, eis la Hashem. So it's a time. There's a time to do for Hashem. And why? Mashmal says that means we have to sometimes punish those who do against Hashem. So that's the drasha from the beginning, because they are being made for the Torah. They are ruining the Torah. We say for the Reisha, or we can learn the other way. This is really how commonly the pasuk is used in the Poskim Chazal. That sometimes we can really somewhat disrupt the Torah itself and change what it says in the Torah because of Eis Las Hashem, because they need to serve Hashem. Tanya, we learned. Hillel Zakin said, the different times, when there's Shas HaMachnisim, when there aren't people, when everyone is inside, when the Gedolah, we don't have Gedolah, we don't have the right people going out teaching Torah, then we say, Pazer, you should go out and teach yourself. B'Shas HaMefazim, when there's a lot of people, everyone's running and teaching, so then the best thing is that you kanes, that you should teach, they should go inside and learn and let others do it. V'im ra'isa dor, shatayra chaviva olav. So, and if you see that people really want, there's a desire to learn Torah, Pazer. They should go on teaching Emar, Yesh Befazer v'Nesifo. There are times when you should go out and spread, spread Torah. Pazer is like to spread. So sometimes, but if you see there's no interest, so then go inside. There's no point in going out if people don't want. According to the need, when there's a need, according to the need, the time of the need, that's how a person should distribute Torah. If you see Zolas is a good cheap price, so then you should buy. Zolas kvoitz k'nei mida. If you see the price, the merchandise is cheap, so then you should grab it, collect it, and it'll get. Eventually, things go up. Things are cheap, right? This is like good business advice. Buy those. So this is the klal, like we say in Chazal, and there's no ish in a place where there's no man. Be a man, be a ish. Even though maybe you have to extend yourself a little more than you would think, but sometimes you do it. So that means when there's other people doing it, there's a gedolim mincha. So then don't get involved. So once it's pshita, obviously, if there's somebody better, let him do it. No, sometimes there's implication when there's equal, and the other person's doing it. Okay, that's also okay. What parsha pasuk? Everything is totally on. In all ways of life, in everything, you can always bring Hashem into everything in life. You should know Hashem. What do you mean? Everything. Yeah. Sometimes you should yash. No. So even even if sometimes you're going to do an avera that says yasher or chosecha, then you should realize that to bring Hashem into it, and then you'll straighten your ways. A person should have a very clean, easy profession. You should teach your son a proper profession. What's that? Actually, sewing is a very good profession. This is eitzes here. Person, you don't have to always have lots of parties and lots of people in your house. Shenemar Ifreim, the pasuk in Mishnah says Lisraeya. If you have too much, you're going to end up. You'll disagree. You'll this. You have to. Sometimes it's good to have friends. Sometimes you have to keep distance. Also, Tanya Rabbi Yomer. Don't put somebody else in charge of your things, of your house. That's not the way to watch your things. You have to watch your stuff yourself. The whole nisayon of Yosef with Eshes Potiphar came from the fact that he was so involved with everything in the house. You say the Torah puts the two parshas next to each other, the parsha of Nazir, the parsha of Soita, to teach you that when she become a Nazir, if a person sees a Soita, he sees what happens in the Beis Hamikdash, he sees a Soita, so then that could bring him down. When he even just knows about these things that happen, so he should stay away from wine. He should learn from his lesson from here. Stay away from wine. Why does the Torah put Soita next to Trumas and Maisis? So if you have Trumas and Maisis, if you don't give your tzedakah, your Trumas and Maisis, you're supposed to soif nitzach hakoyin adi ishtoi. Then you'll have to go to the kohen for reasons that are not so good. You have to go because your wife will have a parsha from Soita, and you have to go to the kohen. So then ish is kedosh b'layeh. The samach by ish is kisista. That's about Trumas and Maisis, and then it says the next to it right away. It says ish is kisista ishtoi. His wife goes off the path. You see, maybe ish is ishtoi v'chu, etc. So if nitzach lahem, that he'll also need Trumas and Maisis, and now he's a kedosh b'layeh. He will need to have to take from Maiser, Maiser Ani, No, but on the other hand, if a person gives the stock he's supposed to give, he gives his meiser, soif bisasher. He himself will become wealthy. So we darshan the pasuk, asher yitain lakoin loy. He will have money. Lo yem man harbe. Oh, so this is the Shachayim speaks about this a lot. If a person realizes that Hashem is with us, and that when we're bitzar, Hashem is bitzar. So, when we're shot, I get a different interpretation of this. Or maybe when we see that, when there's even something bad, we know Hashem is with us. It's not for Hashem. Everything is Hashem. So if a person does that, he's mishatif Shem Shemayim with his tsar. He brings Hashem as well. He wants it to be better because also not for himself, also for Hashem. That's why I think that, if not mistaken, Nefesh Chaim explains it. Koyfen lo parnasa, they'll double his parnasa. He'll have much tlach of a shakim tzarech v'kesef toifus loch. Or Shmuel ben Achman parnasa my fefes like a tibur. His parnasa will fly up like a bird. Shenem v'kesef toyafus loch. It will fly up. I'm not talking. If a person weakens himself, he will not be able to stand up and do nation. He's a piece of even one mitzvah can affect. But a person always has to push himself to the maximum. If he weakens himself in one mitzvah, he also will make it difficult to stand up to the difficulties. He would tell the following story. When Chanina ben Ach came to go, so he would get a bezin together, and even in Chutz La'aretz, he would extend the year, right? He would ma'aber the shana. He would make it a second adar. Shigur, now you're not supposed to do that. That's in Chutz La'aretz, you don't do that. That's only in Yisrael. Why was he doing this? Shigur Achav, they told him, what are you doing? They made a protest. What are you doing? Why'd you come? We came to learn. These are G'dolim. And they actually served the Beis HaMikdash, like we learned this in Yuma, when I was here in Yuma, the Mishnah in Yuma speaks about how the Kohanim read before the Kohen Gadol. And Zechariah ben Kvuta was one of the Kohanim who said, I used to read before the Kohen Gadol, the Sefer Daniel. Anyways, but you see, he was a great person. So then, Hananiah, again, the story here is about Hananiah, who was doing controversial things. So now, Hananiah started to speak and learning with that. And Hananiah says, Tameh, and they said, no, we disagree with you, Hananiah. Who are you saying? Material. He forbids it, we matter. They disagree. These two guys. Then he said, he says that these guys don't know how to learn. Amrullah, from Banisa, but you already said that we're doing their door. If you said we're doing their door, you can't say we're nothing. It doesn't work that way. Yata yochol histor. For Gazan kadati v'yata yochol ifroitz. You made it together. You can't break it. You said we're doing the door. Amalahem. You say ma ani mitam atam. Why? If I'm learning correctly, why are you not? Because you're doing something wrong. We're making a protest against you. You're ma'aber shanim v'chadoshim b'chutz la'aretz. How do you make this up? Akiva. Rabbi Akiva. Give you guys it means Rabbi Akiva. Yeah. Hanach Rabbi Akiva. You're right, but that's not right. There's no one as great as Rabbi Akiva. You know what? In my opinion, there's nobody as great as me. No, you're wrong. You were great, but your Talmidim also became great. When they sent us and they said, tell us in our name, if he listens good, we threaten you that if you don't listen to us, you will be and if you accept good, the second part of the If not, Yalu Lahar, they will go up to the Har. Which is like the Avodah Zarah. Achia, so Achia, that was his brother, he was Achia Yivnem Mizbeach, and he will build the Mizbeach, and his brother, and Hananiah, Yinagi Bekinor, V'yichvu Kulam V'yoymu, Ein Lahem Chelek B'Elokei Yisrael. Hananiah. Not Hananiah, sorry. Who's the other side? Yeah. Hananiah was the one who's doing the Ibur. Hanina, sorry, whatever. Hanina. Achi Yeshua. Who were the two people that came? Rabbi Yosef ben Kepa, Ben Benai, Shazachai ben Kvuto. So that was a threat. Achia Yivdem Mizbeach. Yeah, I think that's referring to Hananiah. You see him. Yinagin Bekinor. What he's going to do? He's going to be a Levi, and he's going to Yichbu Kulam V'Yoymer Eilam Cheder. You're going to make your own Avodah Zarah. Miyad. When everybody heard that, the threat that the Amacha Go Ko'am the B'Chiyav Amachas V'Sholem. We won't do that. Yeshnu Cheder B'Kei Yisrael. Kokach Lama. Why do they insist? What was this big issue? Why did they make such a big issue about what he was doing? Obviously, it wasn't. Akiva was also doing it. Because no, we have to insist that the Torah will come only from Eretz Yisrael, from Yisrael. So now let's go back and analyze their vikuach. So he was Matayr. So they said, you know what, we're going to disagree with him, but if he's being Matame, and obviously they came to argue with him, and they're Mitarim, how do they do that? Just to argue with him? That doesn't make sense. No, I'm saying, it's not because of that. Once he was already paskin on something, unless he was a chacham, there's no question about it. There's a rule like this. A chacham who makes something asr, once a chacham makes something asr, you ask a shayla, and the chacham says it's asr. So you cannot go to another chacham to say it's mutter. Once it becomes asr, it's asr. You're stuck. Yeah. So how did they do that over here? How did they permit what he had previously forbidden? You're not allowed to not do that. You could maybe. So it sounds like more. You could asr what he permitted. L'chumra, that's possible. Yeah? But not the other way. Kasavri, this was a rasha. They're trying to make a protest against him. They have to stop him. There's nothing else to do. When they came to Kerbiah, when they went after the Beis Medrash was destroyed, they went. The Chachamim went to Kerbiah. They all. They darshaned Everyone, we're going to just go through just this list of drushes. So there's a rule, you always darshan first b'chvei achsanya, the host. So they made the rule for the darshan in front of the host. Pasuk says, Moshe after Kabbalah Torah, his face was shining so much that no one could look at him, so he took the machane, he took his oil outside the machane. The Ahron Hashem, right? The Torah says, everyone goes out. We'll have to go outside the machane for the Ahron Hashem. Talmidei Chachamim. They're giving praise to the host. He's hosting the Talmidei Chachamim. That it's like taking the Ahron out of the machane. They're going. Certainly, the Talmidei Chachamim, they travel to go to different cities, will have special siyata d'shmaya. So now we're going to bring other drushes on the Hashem spoke to Moshe, and he wrote the announcement upon him balocha. Hashem says to Moshe that we're going to be nazbir panim balacha. We're going to explain when we learn in Torah together. We're going to aniva atah nazbir panim balacha. We'll have nazbir panim means we'll see each other, we'll understand. There'll be safe. There'll be safer panim yafetz. It'll be geschmack to learn. Just like I explained to you, you should go explain to Bnei Yisrael. You should bring the oil back. Brought back. They'll say Harav Bikas because the ego. Talmud Bikas also. You saw what's going to be. To bring it back. If not, we'll serve under you. We'll take over. So even though he did bring it back and Rosh Yeshiva went back, but in the end, it still came eventually to fruition that and then another drasha. Oh, this is what you were saying. Haskes. Ushma Yisrael Ayoyim Azeh Niyasol Amiki Oysa Ayoyim Nidnu Torah Yisrael. Pasuk says, listen, today, this is in Dvarim, it says this Pasuk. You became an Am. Now, you got the Torah. Is that true? Was that when the Torah was given? Although Oysa Ayoyim, that was the end of the Aboim Shon. So Aboim Shon, that was when they're about to go into Eretz Yisrael. To every day with the Torah, it's like Har Sinai. Each kvar akwa. Teda. She'adam koyre kriyashma shacharis, arvis, erev, if a person doesn't say kriyashma one day, it's kamishlo koyre kriyashma mi'oilo. Why? Because every day the Torah is like new. Every day is a day within itself. Every day is its own world. Haskes. Pasuk says. So this is the drasha. Haskes. Asu kitus. We dash in the word has. Asu. As like has is like asu. Case. Make groups. Iska b'Torah. Make chaburas. V'shein Torah nikas el b'chabura. Cherev al abanim v'noyalu. That cherev al saneim shal tumim chachamim. That it's like a sword on the enemies. We have a sword against the enemies when the Talmidei Chachamim are yoshvin together in a chapura ba'oiska b'Torah. V'loi oid el shevetapshim. Ksiv ha'achal v'noyalu. In those if they don't, we don't learn together. We lose our koyach. We become silly, tippish, right? It says v'noyalu. Ksiv also shenoyalu shenoalnu shechatanu. Right, so that's a lashon of we become closed up when we're by ourselves. So oyin el shechoytim shem asher chatanu iboy saying mihacha. This again when we don't learn the chabura, so we also come to mistakes. That's chatanu. Chait is like a mistake. No alnu for chatanu. How do we know that? Or another possible sword is, this pasuk says, no alu soret soin. So what does this word expression mean? It means they were toya, they went off the road, they went off the path. They were noilu soret soin. So you see, tipshus is like chet. So it says, Ashano al no shachatana, we became tippish. So we say, so how do we know that that's when they're bad to bad? Because it says over there by the pasuk of cherev abadam v'noyalu. You know, if they're not albadim, then they're noyalu. Then they're going to be tipshin. So a little more. Davrach haskes Shema Yisrael. Katatu atzbuchen al divit. There's another pshat. The word again. We're touching the word of pasuk haskes. What's the word haskes? Katatu atzbuchen. You should break yourselves al divit. Kill yourself al divit. You have to push yourself until you feel you're finished. You're going to kill yourself. You're not killing yourself. You're killing it through Torah. You're breaking yourself. Another pshat. Haskes. Has, you have to be quiet. Sometimes you have to be quiet. Don't ask questions. Then you break up the Torah. Then you break it up and ask you questions and break it and analyze. First you have to learn. You have to become knowledgeable. And then contemplate what you learned. Juice of the milk brings the what do you call it? The butter. Mitzaf, yetzidam, and from the nose is blood. Mitzapayim, mitzirim. Miyata meitzichem shel Torah. In other words, when a person is willing to give up, you know, everything he has already, like, you know, for what he has already, the milk of his mother, he's willing to have nothing. In order to have the butter of Torah, he'll have Torah. If he gives up the chol of imoy, he'll have the butter of Torah. Pasuk goes on, if a Talmud, he'll be zoicha, that his Rebbe will be upset with him. And he's shaitik. And he doesn't say anything. Zoicha, lahapin be'dam tami l'dam tar. So interesting thing. In other words, it's a certain madrega in understanding Torah is to able to differentiate between the different shades of color, dam tame and dam tar. So that requires a certain building of the person, and that comes through that his Rav is Kaisalov and he's Shoisek. It says that from the nose, the blood, you know, comes fighting. Now, if it's twice, if the Rebbe gets upset with him, that's already more complicated to understand the Nefesh, to understand the difference between Dinei Mamonos and Dinei Nefashos. If you really want to be wise, you have to learn Bamitzia, Dinei Mamonos. If you menavel yourself, you made yourself disgusting. What does that mean? If somebody really is menavel himself, you know, he deprives himself, or makes himself silly, he'll ask questions, whatever he needs to do for Torah, eventually he'll become wise, he'll become great. But if not, the other pair, he won't have, he'll have to cover his mouth. He won't be able to answer the questions because he doesn't know. So the more possible to have a son of the Dorish might receive the Yom Shor Hakini, L'chu Sur Rudu B'Tech Amalek Perosif Chayimoy Va'ata Asisa Chesed and Kol B'Yisrael. Pasuk says that Shaul says this. Shaul says to the Keni, I believe, are the descendants of Yisrael. They say, go away, get out of here, Mitoch Amalek. I don't want to kill you with Amalek. You guys are not Amalek. Now here it's a little bit, you say Yisro did it for his own interest, and yet he still, his descendants were entitled to be saved. Certainly one who hosts a Talmud Chacham and he gives them food, don't fight with Adoimi. He's your brother. Don't be beside Mitzri. Also, you have to respect Adoimi. We don't wipe out the Adoimi. It's not like the other Goyim of Canaanim that we go out and kill them, because Adoimi is your brother. Mitzri hosted us. We made us slaves. Or they originally hosted us because of Yosef. He said he wanted to take advantage of them. So certainly the Torah will protect him, just like it protected the Mitzri. Vayevorach Hashem is oived Edom ba'avur Aaron Elokim Aaron Shloshasa the kibbutz ribitz the fun of. So oived Edom, he was blessed because what he did for the Aaron Hashem. What did he do? All he did was he just cleaned it up a little bit. He cleaned the Aron. So certainly, and yet, because he hosted, he served the Aron Hashem, he was a person who will host the Talmud Chacham, the Pesach, Machila Mashkir Maneo Medichasav, Akam V'Kama. So what was he? Zoicha, this person here in the Navi is Oivei. He was Zoicha to have his 8 daughter, his wife, and 8 daughter-in-laws. Yeah, many big family. He had a big family. Shisha B'Kerem. They all had many children. 6 at one time. Shamama Pulas Hashmini Kibaruch Elokim Ko'ela B'nei Edom Hema U'B'neiim V'Achayim Ish Chayim B'Koyach La'Avoida Shishim Ushnayim La'Oived Edom. He had 62 sons.
62 sons, maybe?
Yeah, I think the grandchildren there. Yeah.
Oh, there's a son.
Okay, everybody say, we'll tomorrow. Say,